This is where the fun begins.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Say my name.
And here we go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Realish. I'm Derrick.
I'm Matt.
Bianca.
We got a very interesting episode for you guys today. We're going to try a little new format that Bianca came up with that I'm really excited about because it kind of ties into a little bit of really ties into exactly what we're trying to do with Realish anyway. So you guys will get that a little later, but first couple of things out the way real quick. Episode is being brought to you guys by Champ Number One Boxers. If you guys have not tried it out yet, or if you have not heard about them, yet, Champ Number One Boxers is the sponsor for a show. They are a Black-owned company that is based here in Atlanta. The most comfortable boxers that you will wear. They have stuff for men and for women. So please go into the link in our bio. Check out the Champ Number One Boxers link through there. You'll be able to sell to Jesus, I forgot my words. You'll be able to support two different Black-owned companies with one purchase. So please go ahead and do that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, that means you're on the OTS YouTube channel. So please go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not, and notification bell as well, and get the updates for various things that we have that will be coming out to you guys very soon. So let's go ahead and get into it real quick. I'm going to figure out a different way to do this intro. So I do apologize, but let's go ahead and get into some of our entertainment news.
Yeah, so I guess just to reveal what's on the docket, Ezra Miller is going to be one of those topics. Top Gun Maverick hit $1 billion at the box office, and then a little story about Christian Bale that just came out earlier today. So to get into it, Ezra Miller has been facing this ridiculous controversy for what feels like ever. This all started back at sometime in May, where there's footage of him being arrested in Hawaii after allegedly assaulting someone. Another incident in which he was allegedly grooming an underage girl. And then most recently is he is keeping a wife and her 2 children on a farm with his farm ranch, which is riddled with bullets and other drugs. And so the father, or the husband even, is obviously looking to hopefully regain custody, or just have the police more or less investigate what's going on there. So the biggest question is, off the top of the head, is what happens with the Flash movie, and more importantly, how on earth hasn't the police done anything at all with him, right? Because I think he was posted on bail for the first incident. They actually couldn't find him for the accusations because he was actually going to go on trial for the grooming not charges, but the grooming accusations. He wasn't in town, he bounced, and then obviously he's on allegedly on his farm, doing whatever. So I'm not even making this up. This is what's been going on for the past month and a half, maybe 2. So you two take it away.
I think I missed the farm.
I was about to say, I don't know where that came into play.
Completely.
Is this all here in America, or is this
this is in America? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. You said Hawaii, which I did know about that, but then I thought he was somewhere overseas too.
Me too. I thought something happened in Scotland or something.
Oh, that, what? I think that might have been no, never mind. I know Barry Keoghan, before we started recording, Derrick Ezra was in Dunkirk. He's an actor, so coincidentally, Barry, I think he was he was arrested and I think made bail. It was like a $500 bail or something, because he was.
Oh, so they're both acting up.
Yeah, but
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
Barry was less extreme. I think he was like intoxicated out in public, and then
Okay.
I wasn't like too extreme, but Ezra, I don't know what's going on with them as of late. So it's a lot to digest. I know it's kind of all over the place. I might have missed out on a few details, but yeah, obviously you two take it from there. Sort of what you think the best course of action is from a business standpoint. Obviously, like where do you see Ezra's career really going after this? Um, yeah, like I said, it's
Is The Flash a movie and a TV series?
Well, okay, so the Flash starring Ezra is a film.
Okay.
There is a CW series.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up. There's
Yeah.
so much content being put out. And
There is, yeah.
But
yeah.
the lack of good content is crazy. But that's interesting to me that it's one of those. I mean, this isn't the first time that's happened where it's a situation where the actress is acting up and now they sort of have to figure out how they're going to continue forward whilst, continue thinking and keeping in mind all of the different people who may be supporting or want to support, the film. So but like, there's only so many things that you can do. There's only so many times you can be in the headlines before they kind of just, excuse it, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in terms of the film itself, I mean, you're gonna release it. You got no other choice. I think that there's two elements here. Okay, so there's the art and then there's the humanistic perspective. So I'm gonna talk about the art real fast. In terms of the art, this really spoils Michael Keaton's return as Batman because no one is talking about that now. It's all about, is Ezra, going to continue with this character. DC's got to blow it up anyway. I mean, we already knew this was coming. They're going to have to blow up this iteration of the DCEU. So blow it up. Let's just start over. Maybe they're the multiverse, I'm assuming, or something was supposed to be introduced into this film anyway. So maybe worlds collide or something, and you take particular people like Jason Momoa's Aquaman, maybe you mix it in with the new Batman, Robert Pattinson, type of thing. Maybe they do something like that. I don't know. There's a way forward, but it's either you do something like that or you just blow everything up and start over new, which DC was going to do that anyway. So whatever. The humanistic aspect of it though, like yo, Ezra gotta go. He's gotta go. This is weird, man. I mean, this is almost starting to sound like R. Kelly in certain ways. Like you're holding people captive. You said he's grooming someone as well, right?
Yeah, I think that I know he was accused of it. That was I don't know like on what grounds they accused him on, because mind you, this was around the time of after, like a bit after his incident in Hawaii. So
okay.
That's why I don't want to say like it's ill time, because regardless of which, they need to be investigated right away. There's no think about it, but yeah, it was this whole thing.
This is weird, man. This is weird. I mean, yeah, the Hollywood aspect is going to just carry on. That's not going to, that's not going to change. But yeah, he's got to go. I don't know. I don't know how you come back from this. This is not this is not in the same vein as Johnny Depp being accused of whatever Amber Heard was accusing him of. This is not that same thing. I already knew from the jump he was going to be able to beat that. This is not. This doesn't sound like the same type of
thing.
He's
got a lot going on.
Yeah, this is way too much. You just take care of it. If he's able to beat those charges or whatever, then you come back and do whatever you need to do. But I don't know, man. That's just weird.
Yeah, and the biggest concern is the child of the mother. like on the farm, Ezra had been in contact with them since they were 12. Hence why the grooming accusations came into effect. So those are the grooming accusations.
Wait. So the grooming accusation and the abduction are for the same person?
Yep. Ezra was like speaking.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Gibson is the child's name. So when Gibson was 12, Ezra was talking with him. So hence why I think I want to say, like I said, this is a whole. It's kind of hard to keep up with everything going on.
Yeah.
But I want to say the father made the accusation. The
So
problem
is this a
is that
woman he was dating or something?
so he's the father to the kids because these are two kids. But he was, I think he was either charged or like he was being investigated for domestic assault. So the
Wait,
mother,
how did he get to the how did they get to the farm though? Like, was he
he,
dating the mom?
so this is all in Hawaii. Yeah. So
Oh,
to
this is
give,
in Hawaii
yeah.
too.
So to give context and time. So the
So
two,
everything is
yeah,
Okay.
everything, basically everything
Okay.
happened in Hawaii is
Okay.
that he, excuse me, they, Ezra, because he go by they, them. So out of respect.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Sorry, I know I keep going like they in case you're wondering. But they left with the mother, the two children from Hawaii to the farm. So that's why. So everything's happening in the United States, but it's yeah,
Okay.
because he was arrested twice in Hawaii, and then Ezra had been in communication with this child since they were 12. Well, they're 18 now, but still, it's weird nonetheless. Like
Right.
I don't think you have a right to speak to a 12-year-old in any capacity. It's just yeah. I I yeah, I'm kind of just lost for words, honestly. Um, you know, eh, I just can't believe it. Um, I
Okay.
think
This is actually starting to make more sense now. Because I
yeah,
was so confused. I'm thinking this is like happening different locations with
Right.
different people.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all the
Sorry,
same. No, that's how I started. That's how I started taking the information when they first
yeah.
reported it.
Yeah, I did too. I literally, because I was actually looking at it as I was talking,
Mhm.
and then I kept seeing like revisions in it. I interpreted that as well, where it was just like separate incidents, but no, I think it's um, mostly under the same umbrella, so to speak. It's you know, I, I'm not sure, Bianca, what your thoughts are. I know obviously you gave them before, but
Right. I definitely just am curious about like a timeline. I definitely would want to circle back and do a little bit of research and just see how
Yeah.
it's all playing out because there's definitely more information than I initially thought. And now there's information that's connecting. So I think I've been kind of like Derrick was saying, been getting a lot of it from like a human aspect of it and like a business aspect, the franchise aspect. And so I think all of it's kind of coming together in a weird way. We're getting a lot of weird narratives. So I definitely do want to do some research and see sort of what the whole story is.
yeah.
How old is Ezra?
Um, I want to say 29, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's
Too
sick.
old.
That's
Right.
sick. Yeah.
Too old. Yeah, he's exactly 29. So,
Okay.
um, the last thing I was going to say too is that like he, I think like what Bianca's saying is so true because I feel like there are, the headlines are not like, I think nowadays like in mainstream media like headlines are like are very easy, like can easily attract people.
Yeah.
So all they need they see and chances are they probably think they understand a full story, which is very much untrue. So I'm looking at it and people are like repeating headlines on social media and then I take it a certain way. I'm gonna view it as like YouTube were thinking, like separate incidents, like everything's just like
Right.
like literally a domino effect. But in actuality, like I said, it's like under the same umbrella. But to give even worse details, he was alleged. This is alleged, by the way, allegedly giving Gibson, the 18-year-old, LSD. He's growing, or excuse me, Ezra. They're growing weed on the farm. for the longest time. And like I said, they have like guns and bullets like all over the place. So it's not a very healthy environment to have a family of
Right.
three. You know, um, I'm just mind boggled. Why Rona Bros took so long or is taking so long to respond is beyond me. I feel like this is instant grounds of a firing, no matter how awkward that press is going to be.
This is nothing new for them though. Like this is just how Hollywood operates. Like until there's like a fever pitch level of outrage, they usually don't act, right? I mean, Harvey Weinstein did what he did for how long? Once it reached fever pitch, now all of a sudden it's disconnect. You know, like that's weird, man.
I
That's
hope the
weird.
situation works out.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So, I have so many questions, but I don't want to dwell on that, man.
I know.
I
Yeah,
have
it's
so
like
many
I said,
questions.
as you can see, obviously for people watching, we're kind of like having to digest. Even me, like I was reading because I read it over last night. I was still perplexed. I don't think any notes I took could possibly give full context because a lot of this is alleged. So I don't want to like criminalize Ezra in some respects. But I mean, if you're an innocent person, a chance you don't just take off and not go to trial.
Yeah.
And then you don't go on social media posting cryptic messages and then delete your account as the police are searching for you. I don't think an innocent person does that.
Right.
A manipulative and very clearly borderline evil person does that. What's going on in their mind is beyond me, but that's sort of a something we don't have to dwell on much longer if you guys don't want to. I totally understand.
I don't even know what else to say to that. That is I do hope that it does get resolved. That's a lot. Yikes.
I know.
Yeah.
How do you transition to another topic after that?
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah. I think well, I know how you transition. All right. Tom Cruise, Top Gun yeah, I really don't know how you go from that to that. But on a more positive note, Top Gun Maverick hit $1 billion at the box office, which I didn't even expect. I didn't watch the movie. I probably will never watch the movie. But I sort of wanted to get your thoughts on why you think audiences are going out to see this movie compared to like Jurassic World Dominion, right? I mean, that's like obviously a huge franchise. That movie's underperforming compared to Top Gun. So I'm not asking you like to compare and contrast, but I was just sort of wanted to poke your thoughts on, why this movie out of all the others out in the market right now.
I mean, it seems to have everything people are looking for as far as like the nostalgia aspect, and then the new cast being really good. And there is no like anything adjacent to Top Gun other than sort of just the original movie. Like I don't really, or maybe it's just so old. I don't remember like a show or another one sort of coming out, or I feel like people really just liked the original and kept going back to the original. And so I feel like it's not something like, oh, we're getting a sixth or seventh variation of this story. And I think like that's something that maybe too what's drawing people. But I have to go see it though, because I heard it's a really good. I keep hearing it's so good.
Yeah, I want to see it too. I truth be told, I never saw the original.
Me either.
I'm going to, but that was never. I've never been in a rush to watch it.
I don't think I need to.
Me either. I will say though, I think probably why it's so popular right now is because you have our parents' generation of fans that were fans of the original go back and see it. And it's the pandemic, isn't, I can't say it's over, but you have restrictions that are lighter now. So getting closer to 4th of July, patriotic thing. Yeah.
Back in these streets watching
Yeah,
movies.
I that's the only thing I can come up with because outside of that, I really don't see the draw to Top Gun.
I don't either. I
I
don't
don't get
see
it.
it for Tom Cruise, to be honest. So I'm not really sure either. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's supposed to have something for everybody. The cast is awesome as far as just like something for everybody. A lot of your favorites from other shows are in it and things like that. So I don't even know what the story is. I get it.
I don't either.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I guess like Tom Cruise is like the bad boy of the, are they in the Air Force? I'm assuming, yeah, of the Air
Mhm.
Force world. And
Mhm.
it's like he doesn't want to play by the rules, but sometimes not
But-
playing by the rules is just the right thing to do.
Isn't that the premise of almost every Tom Cruise film?
Exactly.
Mission
So-
Impossible,
Exactly.
the entire series.
So some about them planes is doing it for folks though.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I mean, Tom is I do like Tom for the fact that he always does his stunts and stuff like that. He's crazy.
yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, he's crazy. But I mean, it looks good on film when you have someone just do their own stunts. So
Right.
I like that. So I'll go see it just to see how crazy he is in the jets because he flew the jets for real. So
I'm down.
I'm with it. I'm just gonna wait till it hits Paramount Plus or
I
whatever.
know. I don't think I
I'm
need to
not going
see it in
I'm not
theater.
going to the theater for that. Nah. I
Yeah,
go for movies I like. That I'm spending my money
Yeah.
on movies
Yeah.
that I like that I
Fair
know
enough.
I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
I don't think I need to go
Top Gun.
see
No.
Top Gun in theaters.
And again, it's
Exactly.
almost 4th of July. Those theaters are gonna be packed out for Top Gun. So I'm good.
Yeah, because I think it's getting re-released in IMAX soon, and the last thing I'll bring to the discussion here is hopefully studios take note that when you produce quality entertainment, audiences will show up. So you don't necessarily need I want to say like you can lean on nostalgia, but at the same time, you accompany that with like Bianca was saying, a young cast
Right.
with some recognizable faces,
Right.
then we have room for success. So it's an
Who
achievement.
else? Sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Who else is in the original Top Gun other than Tom Cruise? I'm not even trying to be funny.
I think Val Kilmer is the only other person I know.
Yeah.
But besides that, I can't think of like.
That's
mean,
probably the best thing that ever happened to the franchise. The fact that there's not multiple old white men we have to bring back. Like we can sprinkle in a little bit of young hotness, a little bit of diversity. We can reach some new quotas.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best thing. Because with like Jurassic Park, we're having to bring back all these old people.
Mhm.
And not that, we don't like a little nostalgia, but I feel like maybe that might be it too. The fact that the recognizable face is just Tom Cruise. We brought Tom Cruise in. That's it. Now we get to do kind of the same story, but with new people. And I'm sure that was good.
Yeah.
But $1 billion is wild.
Look,
That's
you
wild.
know what it is? TikTok. Apparently, it's just hot. Like the dudes are just hot. The shirts are off. The sweat is on. The budget for oil was high. It was just, it's hot. It's flames. It's noises. You guys have a good time. We're having a good time. Everyone's hot. It's great.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right.
You know what? That's a good idea.
The moms on TikTok are telling other moms, "Hey, throw some wine in this thermos.
Yeah.
Going up to Top Gun."
What you're saying is vet some more beat scenes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miles Teller is
that show up.
shirtless.
Yeah.
Lawrence from Insecure is shirtless. I don't. The other dude, I recognize his face, but I don't know from what.
Glenn Powell.
Is that his name? He looks like a Glenn.
Glenn Powell, like the
short.
He's like
blonde. He looks very preppy. Like he was definitely a Signu somewhere. You know.
He's like an alternate Wyatt Russell.
Okay.
I can't think of like another. There's someone else who reminds me of.
I have. Yeah. I did not
appearance,
come
but
prepared with my research, but yes, the
no, you're all
cast
good.
is just young
Yeah.
and hot, and you can't beat that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just knew Jay Ellis was in it and Miles Teller
Yeah.
outside of Tom Cruise and Val
John
Kilmer.
Hamm is in there too.
There are no ugly faces in Top Cruise, is what I'm telling you. Top Gun, excuse me. They
Yeah.
did not. That's why maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the acting is equally as good as the faces are, which we don't always get. There are some people who hold their acting career on their face alone.
Yeah.
Or the fact that they can act really well with their mouth, or they can do really cool things with their faces, and it's just like everything else they are really flat in.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it just really does have great acting, great story, great faces, nostalgia. You put all that together, it's worth $1 billion.
Yeah, maybe. I just there's nothing else that's the most sense because I can't think of anything else as to why that would make $1 billion. And
I
where
don't
does
know
that
if there's
sit?
any women in it though.
See, that's the problem. That's a problem.
The
think,
planes are for you all.
What's it
That's
called?
what they gave you
I
all.
couldn't
Yeah.
care less about that.
I'm trying to remember. I think I know Jennifer Connelly's in the film, and then one of the firefighters is a woman, but yeah, no, I think it's predominantly um male starred. I know it's kind of like weird grammar, but like male starred film. Yeah, no, I
That's
can't think of.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the United Nations of hot dudes in this cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like.
How do you want it? Yeah, the formula's here. It's making sense to me.
Okay. I'm hey, more power to him. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the format that Tom Cruise tries to run with in a few more films. So why not?
But
Miles Teller's character's name is Bradley Bradshaw. Okay, y'all know what we're getting.
Yeah. I think his nickname is like Rooster.
Yeah. Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Glenn Powell plays Hangman. Yeah, we're getting fun loving. We're getting upbeat.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just it's hot. So
I didn't really even consider that a factor, but who knows?
It's wild, man.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm never watching that movie. All right. The last thing we have on the agenda here is it's something brief. Christian Bale said he'd return to Batman on one condition, it being if Christopher Nolan were to direct. He said this in a Screen Rant interview. He was under the impression. Basically, Nolan approached him about the idea of just doing the 3 films. They obviously committed to it with how successful each one was. Would you want that or bye? This
I'm so good on Christian Bale as a Batman, and there are people that say he's the best one. He's the best Bruce Wayne to me, just because he's so pompous and arrogant. Like he plays a part of the rich, spoiled rich white boy. He plays a part very well. Batman though, no.
Rachel.
No.
Rachel.
That voice, bro. I swear to God, that's like the worst thing I've ever heard in a comic book film.
That's what stopped me from giving Dark Knight like a perfect score, is because his voice was so difficult to decipher and to take seriously.
Yeah.
But he's like, you wanted me.
Well, see, he wasn't even the best part of his own films, and that's what I think. For me, that's a big issue. Joker was significantly, hands down, the best part of the whole trilogy, but Bane was the best part of the third one. You know what I'm saying? He was the footnote in the first one, but that's it. Like I can't throughout the whole trilogy. He's not even the main attraction for the series. So I no. The fighting scenes horrible. Don't like it. He fights like he's wearing a neck and back brace. Like I need Batman to be fluid, man. That just he's not fluid. He's stiff as hell in that.
I think it's only fair to have Bianca chime in. I'm not even gonna bother
Y'all
asking you a
know I
question. You
don't
just
watch
go
them
ahead.
Batman movies. I'm not watching no superhero.
So he is a superhero.
Ain't about Batman.
Batman is a superhero. I will not allow that to be the anything else. That's a story. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, he's a hero. People like that. I just we maybe now, maybe later will be our time to debate.
We'll get into
I
that.
think maybe we need to collect our evidence.
Yeah.
Accordingly.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
So it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, I'll just we'll leave it like that for now. We'll leave it like that for now.
Yeah. Nah, I just don't need to see him come back as Batman. I think the trilogy is good for what it was. I don't feel any necessary nostalgia attached to that trilogy. So for him to come back as Batman, like what would be the scenario that he comes back as Batman? Because I know in the third one it's just like, it's is he dead, is he not dead type of question. So I know there's a way to bring him back, but what's the scenario?
The two possibilities. The fourth revolved around. You don't like the whole Robin name.
No, that Robin was grade A booty cheeks, man. I no.
So the idea, it would be Bruce returning as a mentor of sorts for
to
Robin
a
as a new Batman.
Robin,
or bring him back in maybe like a multiverse-esque movie.
I don't want to see it
for a quick cameo.
I don't want to see it.
Neither do I. I'm not interested.
No,
because Nolan, you look. Batman was just too realistic. It's just the fight. It's just the fight choreography. My main issue was primarily the fight choreography and his Batman abilities. The latter I could forgive, because I understand wanting to, like, from a character perspective, wanting to mask his voice so people don't easily pick up on, oh, wait a minute, that sounds an awful lot like Bruce Wayne. In comparison, you had the fight choreography where I remember there was a scene where like dogs were just falling.
Yeah. Was that the first one you're talking about?
In the third. Like there were scenes where like he was I definitely told you this, but like he'd be like kicking a dog and then he would just like launch back for no reason. It became noticeable when like I went back to rewatch the trilogy. I think last year I rewatched the trilogy. I was like, man, like
it makes you cringe.
Everyone fights so stiff, and what bothers me is how people attack individually instead of
as a collective.
Distinctly. That bothers me a lot in action films. And trilogies,
especially if they have a gun.
That
have a gun, but you're gonna just run at the person and not shoot.
Yeah, that reminded me in Thor where he like infiltrates this shield base to get back his hammer, and all of them are just running around armless. Yeah, like they're straight up like having a fist fight.
Yeah,
with him instead of take him down with like an assault weapon or something that could there's something to incapacitate him. But they're some of the most trained soldiers in the world, and you're telling me your first instinct is to grab a weapon of someone who can very easily like find the secrets. Anyways, I don't want to go into a whole ramble about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
It's the fight choreography with his films. I mean, it they're unrealistic. As much of a realistic world that Nolan created for the trilogy, the fight sequences were the most unrealistic. Outside of the fact that Batman can't move, outside of the fact that his voice is horrible, like outside of those type of things, the fighting was it just wasn't believable. That's why I think that Ben Affleck's made sense because his fighting scenes made sense. Robert Patterson's fight scenes made sense. Like it was just like everybody going at it and rushing him, and that feels more realistic, even compared to comic books or the animated series. It kind of felt along those lines where you could believe it. Christopher Nolan's version, just I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So I don't want to see him come back. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't miss anything with Christian Bale's version. The Tumblr, his Batmobile, it was cool at the time, but like looking back on it, I think it's so heavy, bro. Like there's nothing sleek about it. I'm good. And obvious, you want to talk about you want to talk about realism. How the hell do you drive that tumbler on top of a church and not fall through the ceiling?
Why did he do that?
There was a car chase where he was bringing back I forgot his girlfriend's name in the film.
Rachel.
He was driving with her in the Batmobile. I think she had already gotten hit with the scarecrow mist, and he was trying to I think he was trying to take her back so he could flush it out of her system or something like that. And the cops are chasing him all through Gotham City. He gets onto this to his parking garage. He backs up and he flings it off the thing and lands on top of a church roof and just goes sideways on the roof. The tiles are coming off and everything like that. But that heavy of a vehicle is not going to go through the roof. So that's where Nolan loses me. That's he just loses me in that. There's nothing realistic about that.
Yeah, so those inconsistencies pile up big time.
Big time. So I don't know, man. I don't need to see that. I'm good on all of that.
I still find the final confrontation in The Dark Knight Rises to be so comical, only because I gave actually ended up getting finished. I gave it a 3 stars. I think did I give Dark Knight Rises 3 stars? Or well, I know we did do this. Anyways, but I think I gave it that because the ending, the fight was so like stiff. Yeah. I understand if you want it to be like claustrophobic, right? I think like the sewer scene was more effective because it amplified
You're enclosed
both characters.
Yeah.
The problem with their last fight, Bane's and Batman, is because you have all of these background characters fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Their hits are not landing. There's a lot of people who just like, who you can tell like they're just pretending. It's like you sort of see like cops taking gut punches.
Yeah,
come on, man.
They don't know how to act, man.
And I forgot the explanation they gave for why like none of them had guns. Come on. That whole final act was so.
It was all over the place. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
You do all of that just to get stabbed.
Yeah.
I'm good, bro. Like this, I don't need to see this. I don't need to see his Batman. I sure as hell don't want to see an old Robin. No, I'm good. Because at this point, we should be seeing Tim Drake, right? I mean, I'm talking about Tim Drake like in college.
Yeah. I think you should direct
close to college.
Batman movie.
Who, me?
Yeah,
I sure as hell would do it. I would do it. I would do it. Give me the reins. I'll take over.
Yeah.
Oh Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry to anyone who loves that iteration.
I'm not. I don't
Oh,
apologize. I don't apologize. Y'all can come on. I will bring all the smoke. That was horrible. And I love that trilogy when when it was out. I loved
yeah.
it.
I in a
Going
way I
back,
still like it, but
I can't do it, man. Like I could watch now The Dark Knight, I will rewatch that one
100%.
all the time. And
because yeah,
that's Heath Ledger. I'm watching
yeah,
it for Heath Ledger. I'm not watching it for Batman. I'm not watching it for Christian Bale. I'm watching it for the Joker.
yeah.
Heath
They won the
Ledger,
best on that movie. Relax. Yeah,
yes.
that's the one slander we won't take Dark Knight slander.
Yeah,
That's no go.
I will never flame that movie. That
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will flame Christian Bale's performance as Batman. That's it. His performance as Bruce Wayne, chef's kiss. His Batman was just trash though. I can't do that.
You didn't need all you needed was like a voice modifier, or just not to do like the
not to do that. Yeah. How about this? We are also in a day and age where you can utilize oh my god,
like ADR.
ADR. You can utilize auto tune. You can fix the
almost
voice.
like basically voice de-aging, quote unquote.
Yes, do something like that. Do something like that. Just do it in post. We don't need to hear the that sound like Batman was a zombie or something. Like
like Roberts
was, hear that.
Yeah, Roberts was perfect. It was like, I am the shadows. Like that.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
He sounded
His
natural.
lines, there were only 2 lines that I didn't understand from him throughout the entire movie.
Exactly.
That was it. Every other line, I heard it perfectly, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are 2 things Nolan can't do in most of his movies: sound mix or just sound design in general. He does not understand the concept of lowering the sound of music.
He will never. He will always push that music up. Yeah, that music will always
be. It's a bad habit of his. It happened a lot in Tenet too.
And at the top of that, you can't hear anything that's being said.
Yeah, it happened a lot in Tenet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's all. I think that's also why people got lost with that movie.
Yeah. you literally had
like hear it.
Yeah, like 15 minutes of exposition. All you hear is.
Yep.
Come on. No, I love you, but you have to like.
It's
your soundtrack. Your score is fire. Your score is fire.
Just turn it down.
I need to listen to what people are saying. If you want to understand your movie, or then again, maybe that's what he wants. It's like, hey, you know what? You can't understand what they're saying now, but you pay another $15 to watch my movie again. I'll give you that one line, or something. I don't know.
But if that's his perspective on it, he needs to change it. He needs to work on that. That is horrible.
It's probably gonna happen to Oppenheimer, his new movie coming out. That's gonna be a literal. It can be like an interesting character study, or just like a straight exposition dump.
Which is why I think.
It's during World War II, so I don't know how excited you are.
Wait, what happened?
It's set during World War II as well, so I don't know, because I know you're not a huge fan of
I'm good
the war, anything. Not like a war film necessarily, but just anything set in that time period. Chances are you probably won't go out to see it, which is understandable.
I'm not going to the theater to watch that.
Yeah.
No. Now you want to pay? Someone wants to pay me for it? Okay, I'll go. But I'm not going on my free will to just go watch a World War II film. It's just that ain't it. I'm good.
Yeah.
So good. But man. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll bring Bianca back in and get the ball rolling with our discussion, a new format for a show. So we'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Dwayne from Past the Ox and Life's a Botch podcast. I'm coming to you with a real dope advertisement if you got a moment. Can we do that? Peep this. Yo, you tired of that uncomfortable feeling with your undergarments? You know what I'm talking about. Like, literally having to adjust so it gets real comfortable in between the real safe space. Or maybe just wedgies from just going underneath, you know what I mean? All that. Let's keep it in 100. Y'all know how I'm feeling. Y'all know how that feeling goes. Well, I want to introduce to you the ultimate solution coming from the #1 premium and fit athletic wear just for you. I'm talking about none other than Champ #1 Boxers. Champ #1 Boxers is a black-owned underwear brand, okay? They literally specify in giving you the most top-notch, high-quality, premium, adjustable, and fittable, and totally comfortable undergarment wear that is just for you. Not only is it something that you can wear, feel good in, feel confident in, and love, but it's also high quality, feels good, and most importantly, it is definitely fashionable, okay? Comes in a different, wide variety of so many different styles and themes to these undergarments, something to make you look good, feel good, and swag real good in the process, all right? So, again, did I get to mention that this is also a black-owned brand? It's a black-owned brand, y'all, so if nothing else, definitely go support that 100%. So, what I want to do is I want to tell you, head on over to OTS Media Co. on all social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you go over, you click the link in the bios, it'll take you straight to the Champ #1 Boxers website. You can check out all their styles, you can check out their bundle deals, you can check out why this brand exists, what it's all about, and trust me when I say you do not want to miss out on the types of opportunities going on right now on the site. Champ #1 Boxers. Make sure you do it for the champ in your life if you ain't already doing it for yourself, champ. All right? Champ #1 Boxers. Make sure you go cop those. All right? All right.
Hey y'all, welcome back. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. An idea that I thought would be a way for us to just talk about film and media, especially because it seems as if the three of us cannot seem to find a new good movie to watch. So we thought that we would do kind of like a series on directors and just what they bring to the table, talk about film as a whole and sort of what each director, kind of their style, what they like to do, sort of films that we know them for. So today we're going to start it off by doing, unfortunately, Christopher Nolan, who, as you can see behind both of these gentlemen, is inspiring their everyday lives. And that is a shame that they are both letting it happen. I am here to be the voice of reason as the two of them talk about how amazing Batman and Superman is. I'm not going for it. So let's dive on it.
That was a great way to introduce it. Well, Matt, go ahead, because I know you've got some stuff to say about what film was it again?
My idea, but the director was all Matt's idea, so he better have a lot to say because I brought up some directors who are making beautiful pieces of cinema, and this man is gonna say Batman. Christopher Nolan.
So for context, we were coming with some ideas yesterday. Well, this was something Bianca had proposed last week, but we were sort of figuring out like what director we wanted to focus on, and then I thought about Nolan and jokingly text her, I think it makes sense for you to take on Batman, because you already don't like the character. You probably don't like Nolan much as a filmmaker anyway. So I thought, it's a match made in heaven to get a chance. And all the times I ran on things, I think it only makes sense that you could have a chance to ran on something that you dislike. So
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, I mean, as much as I criticized Nolan in a number of ways, he was definitely influential in my early years for my passion of movies. And so as opposed to, giving this like overly sentimental, speech about him, I decided to watch Memento, which is one of his earlier films.
Yeah.
I think it's like came out in the early 2000s, 2000. Actually, I think it's actually 2000, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think the movie was incredible, only because this was before Nolan took the pivot to making much larger films. And a common problem of his is his need to boggle down his script with exposition. Because I feel like most of his characters are not developed. They're simply there to tell us as an audience what we need to know. And that works for some. For me, no. I don't want to be watching an essay. I have more time on my hands than that. Mind you, the concepts themselves are fascinating, but when most of your screen time is predicated on explaining, how engaged do you expect people to actually be? Memento is the exception to that, because while it definitely has to explain things organically. You don't have like a character until the very end, like that reveals like the true nature of what's happening. And with the film being told backwards, we're sort of piecing together what happens. And it makes for a very like interesting experience when a character like Leonard, who suffers from the short-term memory loss, like we're as confused as him, because much like he sort of has to, discover who this John G character is, the person who murdered his wife. We're ahead of him in a weird way. Like it's weird. Like we're technically behind him because he's already experienced what the true starting point is. Because as an audience, we start with the end point. He already experienced the start point. So we're you know what I mean? So it's a lot to digest, but it's sort of one of those films that definitely requires your attention. And I think does a great job of making sure that there's continuity between what happens, and also presents these very fascinating themes as well. So yeah, definitely one of his stronger works. And sort of as you two will go, maybe some of his other movies haven't lived up to that standard. Everybody's opinionated, so yeah, that's sort of that's my feel. That's
the cast list is short and very good. Like a lot of heavy hitters from the early 2000s and 90s are in the film. I feel like this is one of those movies I like watched randomly before dinner in a hotel one day. Like it's a movie I feel like I know I've seen, but haven't either seen start to finish or have seen like pieces of. But the cast is really, really good. So I bet the story is solid too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the final monologue is beautifully written. Because I think his last line is "the world's still there." And then he stops right in front of the tattoo shop where he'll get his final fact tattoo. And I think is also a very depressing ending, because ultimately Leonard is going to live a never-ending cycle of suffering, where he has no recollection of the people he meets, what he actually did. And so even though he has like a sense of satisfaction, the reality is, once he forgets that, chances are he'll think to himself, oh, wait a minute, did I really kill John G?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to really spend the rest of my life, like, is my sole existence really about just finding my wife's killer, when the truth is, he's been dead all this time, and I've been exploited, for my mental illness. Yes, the movie is incredible. I will say, and like I said, it's one of those films that like has things happen organically and doesn't resort to like shameless exposition.
Right.
Because I hate that. I don't like having every other line be explaining. It's necessary, right? Like there are certain things that you need to communicate, but if you're, like the only way you present exposition is just by characters like sitting in a room and then going back and forth for 10 minutes.
Right.
I'm going to find that very boring. and very annoying, really fast.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I'll leave it at that. Memento is a great film overall, and I guess I'll leave it to one of you to dissect one of his other films, or if you sort of want to piggyback on anything I said about Memento, or just his filmmaking in general.
Yeah, no, Christopher Nolan is I think he showcased a lot with Memento. I love that film. I actually I didn't watch it until I was in film school. Um and if I'm not mistaken, God, time is just like wrestling now. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was after The Dark Knight Rises that I decided to go ahead and watch that. Either that or Inception. I decided to go ahead and watch Memento. And of course, it's not the same, type of film. It's
Right.
not, all these explosions and stuff like that. But it's a great story. And I actually loved it. I think I might watch that again. I haven't seen that. Jesus, it's probably been 10 years now. Yeah, easily 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, it's an older movie. I mean, that's how I
Yeah.
feel about I thought Interstellar was a good story. I thought it was something different. I thought it came together very well. One of those movies that they still sort of play all the time on TV and stuff, so you can catch it. But I liked Interstellar. I liked the twist that was in it. I thought it was shot beautifully, very, same thing you kind of get from same thing with Inception. He's gonna have us shifting and changing, and the camera's we're gonna be moving with the camera, and he's good about that.
Is with the twist itself, because I actually forgot what the twist was. I've seen that movie one time. I didn't really. Oh, did you not see it?
Nope.
Okay, I will scrap that. I will scrap that question. My bad. I will scrap that.
No,
question.
you're all good. You're all good. I was like, oh no.
It's good.
My bad, brother.
No,
I'm glad
I was
I saw
about
you.
to take this off and start.
My bad. Nah, my bad.
No, you're all good. You're all good. I've watched scenes, but like I said, I don't.
Some people don't like it. I know a lot of people who aren't fans of Interstellar.
I've heard that. I've heard that it's either a masterpiece or people just outright don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just think I enjoyed it.
No, I think I can't remember how I followed it, because I know with Inception was one of those films that when you're watching it, I'm not sure if you guys experienced this the first time, but there were a lot of complaints about it when it first came out, like what's going on, like you can't figure out what's actually happening in the film or where they are. Oddly enough, like the first watch, I knew exactly what was taking place. Like this is like the third dream in type of thing or whatever. I had no problems following it, but I can see where people are getting mixed up sometimes, because Matt, you said this earlier, but like his films, you can't miss anything. Like there's like if you
there's
miss
no room
a
to
line,
miss, right?
Yeah, if you miss a line, or if you look at your phone for like 5 seconds,
right,
you are lost.
Exactly.
Which is why I kind of like his I like his logo for his company Syncope, because it's a maze, and that's basically what his films are. His films are a maze, and if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get lost real quick.
And I'm all for it. I loved it. I was following it. I felt like a very smart person. And then Tenet came out, and I don't know what Tenet is about. I can't.
Yeah.
I watched it 2.5 times.
Yeah.
I don't. I can't. I don't. And I can't. That's all I have. Like I just. It's too much. And if Christopher Nolan can't make it make sense, then it's not just the story.
I'll put it like this. I think the third act is some of the best cinema I've seen, but it's also the most illogical
Exactly.
third act
Yeah.
I've ever seen. I
Yeah.
watched a video of someone keeping up with the people who were inverse
Yes, I
and
watched that one too.
moved in time, like the third act,
Yeah.
of where they were trying to like they're basically keeping track. It was that in the airport scene because at a later point in the film, like they come back to the airport to help out Elizabeth Becky's character.
Mhm.
So they did like a 3D model of the area and then basically showed like how like when they were arriving and stuff like that. And then they did this. I think they did the same thing for the third act of like the whole action sequence.
I need someone to send that to me. I
So
want to watch that.
it's a bit helpful, but it gets
Yeah.
really complicated. Like another video like tried doing the movie scenes in order.
Yeah, I think see that's one of my biggest things about Nolan. While I was in film school, he was actually my absolute favorite director. Absolute favorite. There was no one else that I liked more than him at that point. Um, and I think part of that is because he shoots practically. Like it's not a lot of the effects are practical effects, and you're not going to feel cheated out. So like Inception with the spinning hallway, for example, like that's not something that people would normally do. Sometimes they might rig it up to look like something. Most times they're going to just shoot it on green screen, fill it in.
Right.
And that's what I've always loved about him. The thing that I've hated about him is that there's so much more emphasis on that than the story to actually make sense.
Right.
And I've never understood that part of it. I've never understood that part of him.
Yeah.
Because it seems as if, and I gotta watch Interstellar again because I really don't remember that movie.
Mhm.
But I want to say, in terms of story development, it seemed as if his peak was Inception, and then from there it went down. Because Tenet, I watched that. I think that hit HBO Max
20
last year.
Yeah, I think it came out. Oh, I'm sorry. You were asking theaters
In
or
fall? No, in fall, like
yeah.
when it hit streaming service. I refuse to watch it in theaters.
Yeah, that I'm unsure.
2020?
Maybe the following. Yeah, then
Something
or
like that.
maybe the following year. I don't. I'm sorry. Are you asking the
Yeah, the pandemic throws you off way too much. But I watched it when it hit HBO Max, and when it first started, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. The movie ended. I still felt the same way. Don't know what's going on here.
Exactly.
I don't. The shots are beautiful. The choreography is amazing. But it's the story. To me, he's one of those people that I think he's one of those guys you need to just do one thing, right? Like you need him to shoot, produce, maybe direct, but writing, no.
I feel you on that.
Like, and if he's doing any of those other three things, I think that you have a masterpiece. Because he worked with Zack Snyder on Man of Steel. I don't care what anybody says. Man of Steel was a phenomenal movie. But it's just one of those things that I don't get why when he's writing, why it has to feel so all over the place. I don't want this maze.
I think he likes that. I think he likes that your brain is going all of these different directions, and then he can still come together and make a story. It's a skill. It really is. And I think he did take it too far for Tenet, but you're right. Inception, it's done beautifully. Interstellar, it's done beautifully. And then you tipped it over just a little bit too much. I like a good mind-boggling story, one where I have to think about like, did this really happen? Did it not? Or have to go back and think about certain things. I'm usually with it. But I do think it gets to a point where I'm like, oh, that was a bit too much, that it just now the story is too much.
Excuse me. I looked it up because I know he said it interview a while back that he writes non-linearly.
Yeah.
and doesn't
That makes
outline
sense.
anything.
That's how he writes.
That's how he writes. That's his
That
writing
makes complete
process.
sense now.
He doesn't write like from point A to point B. It's like
Yeah.
he has a start point, and then he comes up. That's why like
That's-
a lot.
yeah.
That's why
It reads
Tenet
like
is a
that.
prime example of like a movie that
Right.
has a phenomenal concept, but goes from like 15 different directions.
Mhm.
Like, and then I feel like, once he has like a draft, he finds a way to piece everything together. The
Yeah.
problem with that is that if you don't outline anything,
Yeah.
right, and this applies to anything, right,
Mhm.
everything starts to feel scattered and
Right.
aimless.
Right. Yeah.
Like as an audience, we don't know what you're trying to say. Like we know
Mhm.
what you're trying to do. We
Mhm.
know how you filmed it. It looks
Mhm.
really freaking cool how you filmed it.
Mhm.
But if you don't have that depth for characters
Right.
and story,
Yeah.
what you accomplish is almost meaningless. At the end of the day, you still have people who invested loads of their time, but like you two were saying, it's just his complexity exceeds at ideas, but
Mhm.
nothing else. Like his peak is just ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not
then when it comes to
execution.
basic script writing, is not as strong. It's not terrible,
Mhm.
but it just feels like somebody who can't concentrate on one thing, where he
Yes.
feels the need to like stretch out in so many different ways when you can just take your time
Mhm.
and just piece together one by one, right?
Yeah.
Like have everything flow naturally.
Yeah.
So that explains it partly. But like Memento, but the thing is, Memento there's something similar in a weird way, because Tenet and Memento are actually similar movies in terms of like structure. The only difference is Memento was just backwards. Like you go literally watch the movie from the end to the start, and then start to end.
Yeah.
And everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Tenet, it's like you start here, everything it makes sense, and then you literally go from like this way to this way, back this way, down this way, this way, this way, this way, here, back. Like, it's just, it is what it is. No
Well,
disrespect.
if I had to guess, I would assume Memento had more than just him writing on it.
That makes sense. Early in your career, you kind of have to work with the
Collaborated.
team, and as you kind of get into your own. I mean, we've seen that before, but I mean, that's what Tyler Perry's done. So it's common for people to kind of do.
It was based on Jonathan Nolan's short story,
which always helps.
Okay, now that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And Jonathan is his brother, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I was just gonna say, a lot of books are written like that, where you
Yeah.
get where it's the idea of it's not linear. You get all of the characters out, and you maybe develop that character, and then you just sort of figure out how everybody else, a character or a story, ties to that. So maybe that is just how he both of them just sort of how they grew up, kind of getting their ideas down, and you kind of see how one works better, for paper versus, what you're supposed to visualize.
Yeah, I Tenet, I have there's no excuse for that. I just that was just all over the place, and like I watched Dunkirk last night.
Oh yeah, best Nolan movie in my opinion.
I don't see how anyone can say that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I knew the hype going into watching it. I knew that there was some level of hype, but I couldn't view that. To me, Inception seems to be his best film, because Dunkirk, I already don't like that period piece type of. I'm not into that when it comes to World War I and II. It's boring to me. So that was already against it. That's why I put this movie off as long as I did, because I was just like, I'm just not into that at all. But with this film, it was like it went and this is what he does. He tends to do this with pretty much every film he does. Like the beginning, it just goes straight into whatever.
Yeah.
There's no straight there's no build up. And I'm fine with that. The problem with this is because he went straight into it, we're following this character. I have no clue who this guy is. I have no clue. It made sense for like Batman, right? Like you have an understanding of these characters, so I can tell. Okay, Joker, I know exactly who this is. It's no, I don't need you to build up Joker. I need you to just give me your iteration of Joker. With this, it's like I don't know this guy at all. It's just this random white guy running with other white guys, and they're getting shot, and you see what I'm saying? Like that, it was so thrown off from the beginning to me that I could never find my balance.
Right. I have a counter to that.
Okay.
And I think the lack of characterization is just a result of the story. And I'll put it like this. And a lot of people have said it best. There's like a comment I read like a few years ago, around the time the movie came out. And they said, or actually, I think it was Chris Stuckman, actually. He's a YouTuber, and he reviewed. He basically said, you shouldn't expect people, especially soldiers who are in the middle of a crisis, to suddenly spill out their personal life details when their main focus is one thing: to escape, right? And so I think like the intensity comes from the Germans themselves, because you never see them once. You never see a single soldier the entire movie until the very end.
Right.
And so he, like Nolan, and what I think he accomplished is like he sustained that tension so wonderfully. And he also told the film non-linearly.
Yes.
So
which was also another problem.
And I understand the complication there, but yeah, so that's sort of my explanation. I think that the characterization did not matter much to me, only because, again, with how long the movie was, and given the circumstances, I was not expecting a single person like to fully stand out. I think all of them were just meant to embody this theme of unity and how people come together at a critical time in war.
Yeah,
that's sort of my thing.
Yeah, I get that part. But for me to be submerged into a story, I need a character that I'm connected to.
That's fair.
And he didn't allow there to be any type of connection with these characters. As soon as you felt like you might be connecting with someone, it was next scene. It's like, whoa, bro, like what the hell? It's like, it felt like speed dating. And so I just, that was my complaint with the movie, and that's why I'm hoping that his movies moving forward don't do that. I want him to go back to what he did with Inception. I want that development. I'm okay with the, with you messing with my mind and everything. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
I need it to make sense, because if at the end of the movie I'm sitting there just like, it didn't, it doesn't feel satisfactory. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't like Inception the way everybody else did, but I knew that I wouldn't like Inception. I actually did not watch it for the first time until maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, so yeah, it was one of those movies where people just hyped it up. I watched that. I thought Shutter Island was a much better movie than Inception, to be honest. I watched both of those on the same night. So I was just as far as getting my mind sort of boggled, I thought Shutter Island was much better. I thought Inception was, again, it's one of those movies where, again, if you really, really liked having your brain poked at, it's perfect, because it is a movie that requires more than one watch. It just does. You have to watch it more than one time. Yes. You can't watch it one time and expect to get everything you want out of it. But I felt like Shutter Island, I watched it the first time and I was like, oh, I get it. But I didn't feel like I was missing parts of the story. With Inception, I knew that I was missing parts of the story, and that's what made it difficult for me. I'm like, I have to watch this again.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Inception wasn't really a confusing movie. I think I caught on pretty quickly.
I don't think it was confusing, but I knew that there were, like I said, parts that I was missing because they were intentionally hidden. It was meant to be like a Easter egg. It was meant to be this grand foreshadowing. And I'm like, I knew, like the second or third watch, I was like, I understood it, but now I'm like, now I get where it ties in. I wish I had a good example. I just watched it not too long ago too. I wish I had like a perfect example where I was just like, okay, I understood that as it was developing, but now I get how it tied into the grand scheme.
Well, see, I think Inception, to kind of like compare it to music, it's like when you're listening to, let's say, Jay-Z, for example. Any lyricist you listen to, it's going to be multi-layered. So you have to listen to it multiple times to be able to get
because the beat means something, the producing means something, the words mean something, the story means something. Then it becomes another layer of how do all of those things connect to the artists themselves. Then it's okay. Like that's where it was for me. That's a really great example. Because with Shutter Island, I was like, the story makes sense and I am meant to interpret it. With Inception, he has put these Easter eggs that I am supposed to find in order to get a deeper understanding of the movie. And I'm just like, I feel like you can watch it a million times and keep finding these Easter eggs or deeper understandings, I guess. With other movies, it's just like, was it true? Was it not? Like, what am I supposed to?
No, that and I get that. I do get that. It's one of those things that for me, I think when I watched Inception, I watched it in theaters, right? That was I think that experience was amazing. Like his films, to me, you have to at least watch them one time on the big screen. At least. And that one just kind of like everything hit at once. Like you're talking about the music score, talking about the cinematography, you're talking about the story development, the character development. Like it everything came together, and I think that's why I was so submerged into the story that I'm like, okay, I get this, get that, get this.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that the next watch that I got, I caught something else that I didn't catch the first time. So it is one of those things. It's a complex story, and a complex way to tell it. I just wish, I hope, I pray that he goes back to that.
Right.
I want to see that again. Dunkirk just. If I don't even know. I'm pretty sure that was like the last movie he came out with. But if it's not, I need to see whatever it was, because
before Tenet, I think Tenet was the last movie he's made.
Tenet was the last one he made.
So
Dunkirk, okay.
Well, the second to last, but
then
Dunkirk,
never mind.
Tenet.
Then never mind. If Tenet is the last one he actually made, I'm afraid, because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. It just it's too much going on for nothing. It almost feels like you know how people will hype up how they are in bed, and then experiencing it's just like that's what Tenet felt like. It felt like it was overhyped. It's like you did all of this, like
this is the fuse a bomb.
Like what? Come on,
that's somehow spent across time.
Come on, bro. That was just let your work speak.
Final Act was really cool though. You have to admit, like to see all the walls.
Oh, visually.
No one's saying visually it's not there.
It was
visually anything
cool movie,
anything
really
he does.
I'm twisting, I'm turning, I'm going through walls. Nobody is saying that's not like phenomenal. That was honestly, if you like that, that scene in Interstellar is the best, where everything is coming and you're twisting, and that, because he's going to give us one of those in any sort of movie where he's messing with your mind. That one in Interstellar is worth watching, because you also get to see the story come together at the same time, and it's very, very good.
It's done very
beautiful.
well.
It is.
It's done very well, but that's the thing that I don't understand with him, because like with Jonathan Nolan, like, do you guys watch Westworld?
No, I've heard such good things about it though.
I heard it should have been after season 1.
I'll say this: the third season, I was just kind of like, eh. But the fourth season just came out this weekend, and I watched. You remember I was telling you that guy, Man of Recaps, that kind of helps you get through on YouTube, kind of help you get through the season or whatever. I watched one of his episodes on season 3. Like, oh, see, I missed so much because I didn't realize there was more credit, after credit scenes on the show. So I know I missed some things with season 3, but 1 and 2, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Absolutely. Oh my God. So season 3, I just now last night I just realized what season 3 was about, and I'm hoping season 4 kind of expounds on that and wraps it up into this nice bow to end the series. I think they're ending season 4. But that's why I'm kind of wondering, like, if Jonathan, I have to go back and look, but I have to see if Jonathan is the one that was working on Inception, because I think he did. And some of those other films that kind of did that, like Memento. If I'm not mistaken, I think he worked on Memento as well.
Yeah.
So
based on the short story.
On his short story.
Yeah.
So I'm somewhat wondering if now it makes sense. This is like the Wachowskis all over again, because the last Matrix film was done without I forgot which Wachowski wasn't on the film.
Amazing movie.
But the movie was horrible. The movie was horrible.
Best Matrix movie of all time.
You guys different.
Start. I will never take it serious on that. But I wonder if that's what Christopher Nolan faces. Like when he's not with Jonathan, if his writing is just subpar at that point. And I want to go back and see the greats that he's made, if those stories have Jonathan attached to it.
Because there's like a correlation with,
I think that's
Jonathan's involvement versus non-involvement. That's actually interesting. I'll definitely that's something to look into. I never considered that to be a too big of a factor.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that's what it is, because visually, his movies have not slipped. Visually, his movies are amazing. The choreography, the stunts, all that stuff, the score, like everything is beautiful. It's the writing, it's the story. It's like, so what the hell is going on?
Exactly.
What is going on? And that kind of makes sense as to what happened with the Dark Knight trilogy now that I think of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
A question I do want to ask, what would you rate Dunkirk of our 5 ticket stubs?
1.
And
I'm not watching that again.
And I should say that your official rating will determine my involvement on the show. So yeah, no, I'm joking. No,
I'm not watching that movie again. I'm good. That would not be a movie that I put on a Saturday afternoon when there's nothing to do. That is not it. That's not it. I watched it.
What did you rate it?
1.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm dead serious, bro.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. You can find me.
That movie was not good at all. To me, the best part of the movie was the end credits.
So to wrap up the
music was amazing.
I do have a question though. To wrap up the overall, how would you all rate Christopher Nolan as a director, 1 through 5?
Ooh.
Yeah, like 10 out of 5. I think that's like 10 out of 5.
You don't like it?
No, like my rating is 10 out of 5. That's the rating. I can't.
So is your interpretation that you don't you're not on him as a director?
Oh no, I love as a director, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Script writing.
Okay. All right.
In fairness, though, we're talking about directing. So we're talking about directing.
Yes,
he's 100% in the likes of like a Martin Scorsese.
Yes,
I'm not even putting. I don't understand why people put Quentin Tarantino up there in directing. His directing is not that good.
It's not.
Am I crazy or
No.
like
No, you're not.
I've never found his directing like outright amazing. The only exception is maybe Inglorious Bastards, but I feel like that was just script writing.
I gotta go watch that again. I gotta watch
You know
that
what I
again.
mean?
Such a long movie.
A lot of that was just script writing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can attribute that to his. So I don't know what his directing style is. I really don't. I know his script writing style, but anyway, that's a
no. I agree with you on that.
Another day, but
I agree with you on
that. I think in terms of directing, yeah, he's like easily a 5. I mean, you have to get like out of respect, you give him a 5.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're doing script writing, if you're including script writing with his directing, it probably goes down like 3.5. Because I think the concepts alone are so fascinating, and I respect how he's constantly trying to reinvent what cinema is and what audience can see, but at the same time it sacrifices like something good. Like sometimes there's nothing wrong with just you can I think what Nolan doesn't understand, you can be complex and simplistic at the same time.
Yes.
Complex doesn't mean not being devoid of understanding. Complex is sometimes having something so unique that it requires you to. I'm trying to explain. Like it requires you to think about it, but not in a way where like you're left totally confused. Like it makes you like have a different perspective on what they're telling you.
Right. No,
I
agree with that.
That's what complex means.
Yeah.
Or can mean.
Yeah.
So if you just if he improves in that respect, it's just like I said that. He's like I said, he was influential to my movie loving. So I'll always, he always has a special place in my heart. But you give it something like 10 again. I don't know if I'm not gonna cut you down the slack. I'm sorry.
Nah. I as a director, 10. I mean, I'm sorry, 5. 5 out of 5. I'm giving it to him, but yeah, I agree. He's got to pair up with his brother again. Get those stories. I just that ain't it, bro. That ain't it. I love Christopher Nolan though, because he helped me get through my through film school, understanding different things and complexities of filmography, but nah.
Who's next? We got to think about our next director. I will be choosing our next director.
Please.
I have allowed these two. So I will have a think about it and
please. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because I there's a lot that can be chosen.
Exactly.
And I'm looking forward because I'm pretty sure whoever you choose, I likely have not seen at least one of their films.
Exactly. So
and I think I'll take it. I'll take the time. I want to just issue my apologies to Bianca. I'm sorry I had to put you through a director you're not that big on. Thank you for being a good sport.
Of course.
So you take the rein down on what we're doing. I think that's only fair.
Sounds good. Well, this was a good one though.
This was.
This mouth is saying shut. No more Nolan. No more Nolan talk.
Hashtag no more Nolan.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely. All right. All right. Well, I guess let's go ahead and give our social medias and all that stuff, and then we can wrap this thing up.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Durant No Kevin and Instagram at Southern_spicy.
Yeah, you can find me over on Instagram on Matt_T29.
Oh yeah, and you follow me at Derrick_OTS DERRICK. But also more than that, please just follow the brand at OTS Media Co. All social media platforms. We're really trying to work on growing out the Instagram page out. So if anybody can just follow that, please do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. You can follow us on all social media platforms at OTS Media Co. though. And that's it. So thank you guys for watching and or listening, and we will catch you guys next time. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Sure. Peace.
Bye.